What's up, everybody? I got a couple of projects going on today. I guess let's just get into what I'm working on. All right, we got the 2000 Seville with the Cadillac Northstar engine here. It's been replaced in this car probably 3 years ago, and it's been running good ever since. Obviously, you guys know, if you know anything about them, they're real common for head gaskets, overheating, just little things here and there. But I always check the coolant in the tank right there, and everything has been good up until recently. So I drove this car for a lot of years, and in my experience with the Northstar engine, if that temperature gauge isn't straight up and down on 12 o'clock, and it ends up going higher at any time, there's something wrong. So after receiving the image of the temperature gauge, I went to look at the car. It's 10:30 at night. I got my flashlight out. I started looking around, look underneath the car in the engine compartment, and just hoping I could find anything other than, you know, the inevitable. It's the head gasket. I didn't see a thing. So I popped off the cap of the reservoir, no pressure whatsoever, and it was down. So took about 1.5 gallons of water. I did start the vehicle, and I did see what appeared to be, you know, the condensation coming out the exhaust. So I drove the car to the garage here, and it sat outside for, you know, 3-4 days. So after 3-4 days went by, I happened to notice that there was a puddle of coolant on the passenger side. So what did I find? I found this coolant tube right here. It goes to the liquid-cooled alternator. And it had a couple little pinholes after kind of picking at it with my fingers here. All right, that's where it was leaking from. I don't know why at the time I didn't see any coolant, but that's a good sign. So hopefully we're still not looking at a head gasket. This is the end that goes on to the radiator. That clamp was rotted too, and it probably never blew off because the car doesn't get driven that far and probably never builds up, you know, a lot of temperature or a lot of pressure. But either way, that's another good sign. So I bent up another tube, got some more rubber hose, and picked up some clamps. So hopefully we're all set and not a head gasket problem. Let's get on to the fun stuff. Quick update on Mike's MS210 here. Originally it would just bog. The low would pick up pretty good, but it just wouldn't pick up the high speed. It just bogged down. I played with it some more. I had it running really good, and it sat for a couple of weeks, and it does the same thing now. It just won't pick up the high. Low works really good, and as soon as it starts to pick up the high, it just bogs right down. So hopefully he can get me the original carburetor that came with a saw and get rid of this Chinese one. Got a CS-440 Echo, and I'm just going to take the clutch drum off and grease that bearing. Yeah, I just picked this up the other day. One owner, pretty clean. And if you're using starter rope, definitely make sure that piston's up high enough so your transfer ports and exhaust are closed. You don't want to be cutting the rope off. And I bought the little clutch removal tool here from Amazon. They'd be easy enough to build, but they're also cheap enough to buy. Your scrunch will fit on this, but I prefer just to use a regular socket. Now let's see what this is going to do, see how tight this is. Let me tighten up my vise here. Should we pull this way? Maybe I'll need a small impact wrench. Oh, no, there we go. Nice. Okay, keep track of the way everything comes off. And yeah, we're pretty dry. So it's a nice little metal cage bearing right here. It's pretty dry. I just use this from the steel dealer. You can use any grease, any good chassis grease. You can put some right here in a little brush if you want. Just a little bit. It's the only thing I've really done to this other than put my fuel and oil in it. And we'll put this together and we'll go outside and fire it up and make a couple cuts. So just another little bit of information for you. The starter recoil here will not allow you to turn this backwards. So you can use your rope to put the clutch on. You can also use a plastic piston stop like this, which is what I'm going to use. Whoop, let me put this on here. Gonna kind of be hard to do that, put this on without that, ain't it? Okay, and just a gentle little tighten, and we're on. So pretty decent saw, in good shape. It's got an 18-inch bar on it, semi-chisel chain, full comp, non-safety chains, got the single raker, and let's just make a few cuts with it. The chain's fairly sharp. I would over it quickly with a file. I do need to get the spline tool for this. I don't have one big enough. I think the pipe could be leaned out a little bit. It's a pretty decent running little saw. Job done. If I'm correct, I think this is 43 cc. All right, you guys have seen enough today. I appreciate you watching. If you stuck around till the end, I'll probably end up doing a muffler mod or something on it. Who knows what I'm going to do with it, but just a good running saw. So anyways, I got to get back to the Death Star. Hopefully it's not a head gasket issue. I think I'll be fine. But thanks for watching.